Hi, ladies and gentlemen. This is Darren Smith, host of the ship, and I am with my guy, Mr. Danan Hughes, the Chiefs radio color analyst. And we are just going to give you a little pregame before our pregame show. So, Dana, first and foremost, first pro game of the regular season for the Chiefs. Give me your initial thoughts on this game.
I think this is going to be a tough battle. I think even coming into the season, coming into the preseason when the schedule came out, you're playing a team that was a playoff team in a futile division that has a grudge. We ended their season. We beat them twice last year. This is the third time we'll be playing them within 1 year, and they have a grudge to take care of, and it's justifiably so. They feel like they're a team on the upsurge, and you get a guy like Calvin Ridley back in the league, and with his production, added to Travis Etienne and Christian Kirk and Zay Jones. I mean, they got guys that can make big plays. So they're a dangerous team defensively. If you look at how they played us last year in the first game, they definitely were more physical. And they came in the playoffs, played physical as well. So they're a very good complementary team, offense, defense, special teams with Agnew back there as well. So it's going to be a tough task. And when you consider playing their home opener and how the season ended for them, there's a lot of things that are going against the Chiefs, but I still have a lot of confidence in our guys.
One of the things that we talked about right before we came on was the fact that Kansas City not only gets back Chris Jones for this game, with him taking care of his contract with the Chiefs, but also getting back Travis Kelce. We saw, I believe we'll see a big difference, obviously, in how the Chiefs played last week against Detroit without Kelce and how they will today in today's game with Travis Kelce. What does Kelce bring to this offense that was missing last week?
Safety valve. To me, the way they are in sync, Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, is unlike any other combination of receiver, quarterback, tight end, quarterback that I've seen in the history of the NFL. I'm not saying that they are the best, but I'm saying the way they're in sync, the way they read each other's minds. There's a lot of times where Travis is not running the conventional routes. He's not running what's drawn up on paper or what they've worked on all week. It's just a feel thing for him, and the fact that he can feel himself through the game, feel himself to get open, and know exactly that Patrick is going to find him, that's a truly innate ability that not many guys have had. And to not have that last week, to not have the security blanket of securing the football, where we had guys, what I counted up to 8 drops, because I'm an ex-wide receiver, and my rules are, if it touches your hands, it should be caught, period. So all the other circumstances, I think officially in the stats, there were 4 drops. I don't know what other plays they missed, but I feel like Travis Kelce brings a different element, not only to our offense as far as confidence, but also maybe a little concern on the other side, because they're going to have to guard him. And I saw that, he had 14 catches in that last game. He's had 33 catches for 179 and 3 touchdowns in their matchups. So he's been a problem for them, and I think he's a problem for everybody. But the infusion of energy, the infusion of confidence, and for Patrick to know that he has 87 out there, I think is a huge boost for us.
I know it doesn't get talked about much, which I'm actually shocked. Obviously, Doug Peterson coached under Andy Reid. He's a former Super Bowl champion head coach with the Philadelphia Eagles. But obviously, when they had the issue with Urban Meyer, fired throughout in the middle of Trevor Lawrence's rookie season, they brought in Doug Peterson last year. Of course, he turned it around, took them to the playoffs. What does his addition do? Normally, he used to coach under Andy Reid and kind of know some of his players and stuff like that. How does that help benefit the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Well, I think it gives them a little bit extra confidence, but at the same time, Andy's 25-8 against his guys that has been part of his staff that he's coached with. So he's had extreme success. That's kind of like the father figure still playing against the son in the driveway basketball. But Doug, like you said, he's a Super Bowl champion, and he played us tight last year. I mean, you talk about 2 games, even though the first one was 27-17, felt like it was closer than it really was. Then in the playoffs, only beat them by 7 points, and they fumbled going into scores. So I feel like, if there's any coach and any team that has worked under Andy, this team is probably the toughest that we'll face. when you consider all that's packaged together with how they lost last year, how the season ended, Doug Peterson's success, I feel like they're ready for this challenge.
What, in your opinion, I kind of got an idea what Mike's thinking, but for you, what's the next factor for the Chiefs?
I think it's ball security. I mean, they are a ball hawking team. You talk about Josh Allen, Devin Lloyd, and then the safeties, Cisco and Jenkins. Those guys, they go after the ball. And you look at some of their defensive exploits last year and carrying into this year, they're a problem on defense. So I feel like our concern is the inefficiencies we had last week on offense, the inability to really establish the run game, which this is the top run defense in the league, and now having Travis back as a first game, and if there's going to be a pitch count that's going to be involved in that. So there's still some question marks on our side as far as offense, but there's no questions on their defensive side. I feel like they'll pick up the challenge of trying to shut down our offense and show the league that just because they're in a bad division, that doesn't mean that they're still not the cream of the crop of the AFC.
I think for me, the X factor is going to be up front, not only the defensive line for the depth, but the offensive line for Kansas City Chiefs. Knowing that the issue that was taking place that's what kind of got magnified with Juwan Taylor, the offensive line, not because he used to play for the Jacks, they kind of know his tendencies. So, because I asked Andrew this week about, what they do in defense, because I think Josh Allen had 3 sacks, scored 3 sacks last week in their game. And even though the Chiefs have given up the sack, Patrick does take some, sometimes he holds the ball too long and he takes some unnecessary hits. So I'm curious to see how our offensive line fares up with their front four in this game.
Well, they haven't sacked Patrick in the last 3 times. Last 2 times. So last year, both games, they didn't have a sack. We had 17 hurries last week in pressures against Patrick Mahomes. So, yeah, that's a justified question and concern. But we've done well against them as far as protection. But I feel like there's a lot of energy that's going to be here in the stadium in their home opener. A lot of confidence around this organization. One last week against an in-division foe. So there's going to be a lot against us here. But like we've been down this road before, so it's not surprising. It's expected. This is everybody's Super Bowl. It's as close as Jacksonville has gotten to a Super Bowl, basically, in regards to playing their home opener against the Super Bowl champ. So it's par for the course.
This is the only noon game the Chiefs have on the road this year, even though it still feels like
I know
it feels like it's late in the afternoon. Your thoughts on the early, I guess early kickoff being relative, but the only kickoff that they have at this time of the season. How do you feel about that?
Well, it's good for me because I'll be home tonight. So yes, I get home at a reasonable hour on a Sunday. That's always good. But also, we also have to factor in the elements. You're talking about rain, talking about thunderstorms. Hopefully, there's no delays in the game for lightning. But the elements come into play down here, and they usually do anyway. So, thinking about the offense, you talk about the receivers and the drops last week. Now you come into a circumstance where you're going against a much better defense, as well as the weather coming into play. That's where my eyes will be focused on is, okay, how are guys practicing on the pregame? How are they working their hands and not their bodies? So just seeing that we could be a better team than we were last week. And, there's no moral victories in the NFL in professional sports, but without your best defensive lineman, your best receiving threat, and you play to 1 point at home and you drop 8 balls, I feel like we're a better team. And if we had half of those plays back, that game wouldn't have even been an issue. So it seems like everybody's about business this week. There hasn't been very many smiles. There hasn't been very many, quips or any kind of fun jabs or anything like that. It's just been about focus with Patrick and Andy. And so I'm looking to see how that transpires on the field.
Before we get out of here, we see a lot of it's 2.5 hours before kickoff, and we still see a ton of Chiefs Kingdom fans, that travel. How beneficial is that going to be? Look, it's their home opener. We talk about Duval, but when they do this hospital building, what's going to happen at the very end. How do the Chiefs players feel when you get that type of support on the road?
Oh, we love it. We love it. Absolutely love it. We get the energy from it. There's nothing like the Chiefs Kingdom and how they support their organization. And I was fortunate to be a part of the team. And when the Jaguars first came in the league, that's during my time. So I played here twice. I actually, the expansion draft, I was part of the expansive draft where the Chiefs pulled me back before the Jaguars could pull me onto their side. So yeah, right. That was definitely a blessing for me and my family. But like this is a dangerous place. So it's always good to have your fans around, and especially when they're going to be loud and obnoxious, and they're going to have that cheer at the end of the Star Spangled Banner to let everybody else know here in Duval that we can be just as loud as well. So it's all part of the game, but guys expect it. Like I don't think you and I go to every away game. We've been doing this for years. Like there's never a presence or a lack of presence of Chiefs fans wherever we go. So it's just normal.
All right, so this is the pregame. Before the pregame show, myself and Danan Hughes will be back in 2 weeks when the Chiefs travel to New York City to take on the New York Jets. That
Hometown.
Right. That game will have a different feel with with the loss of Aaron Rodgers, which I remember asking Patrick, about him not probably ever playing against Aaron in his career. So we'll see how that game turns out. It's going to be a Sunday night football matchup. But until next time, for Danan Hughes and Darren, thank you so very much for joining us today.